Alright, well, it's the next day again, after yesterday's disastrous, BP oil spill. This is where we're at, so I've cleaned up the face a little. I'm going to spray WD-40 and try to get these, there's some stain lines, some coolant stain lines, and I think WD-40 will be able to lift them, so it's definitely starting to clean up really nice, which is awesome. The gasket around the first parts catcher door bin area, it looks like that, but it's actually removable. Looked like crap and deteriorating, like I could run my finger and the black gasket material is turning into goo, basically. So I took that off. Here's what it looked like, and I'm in the process of cleaning it up. So this goes up against the panel. Parts fall in that way. Door opens this way for the user. So I'm going to clean that all up, and yeah, I'm going to re-gasket that on, make it look nice, less crummy. Let's see, what else? Yeah, we're just continue to work through it. So I'm working my way down the machine that way. Hopefully do a 360 and finish up the top. Got to, I'm going to re-grease the door where the rollers, the bearings are. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, and then I'll probably clean the inside of the machine, you know, weight covers, all that. And then we got to do leveling. The foot pedal needs to be bolted where those bolts are, right there. And yeah, I'll just keep on going. Alright, here's like a condensed hour-long clip of me basically cleaning up the inside of the door and scraping all the loose paint. And I'm just going to LPS the bare surfaces, that way they won't rust. And I definitely don't want any loose paint chips floating around in my new coolant, so that's kind of why I'm going through the entire machine and stripping the paint off where it's loose. Look how many chips were buried under this little tray in the parts catcher bin. That's crazy. This must be 21 years of packed chips that were never cleaned out. You're supposed to clean this out because there's like, basically the coolant's supposed to drain out of this tray, and it appears that it has never ever drained out of this tray. That's crazy. So yeah. Alright, here I'm re-gasketing the box. I first cleaned the bare surfaces up with mineral spirits, and I just gasketing right over the paint. And you want to make sure when you're doing this you clean up all your loose paint, obviously, and no oils on the surface. I'll usually run like a pretty normal bead down the center, and then I'll come back around and circle the bolt holes, and I've literally never had a problem with gasket leaking, leaking from doing this. It doesn't look as good if you just ignore the bolt holes, but I mean, gaskets are not meant for looks, I guess. They're meant to hold fluids back, so I'm sure this is a much better seal than the factory stuff that was on there. The factory stuff was this thin, you know, polyurethane looking stuff, so this stuff should work significantly better. Alright, ladies and gents, this is enough for me tonight. I have work tomorrow, even though it's Sunday. What can I say? Special line of work. Not recommended. Let's see. So I'd like to figure out how to get the yellow stains off the machine. I asked a couple people on Instagram, and looks like I'm gonna try magic eraser with some coolant tomorrow. Give that a shot. Let's see. Resealed the box up. You just saw me do that. I use the Right Stuff gasket maker. Best stuff I've ever used by far. The can literally recommends or says you can return the vehicle to service immediately, so I don't know many gasket makers that claim you can do that. It is expensive stuff, but I've used it in the Haas to fix a weight cover instead of the factory gaskets, and it's been working top notch. So this stuff usually works better than a normal gasket, I've found. Yeah, it came out pretty even, which is awesome. That's that black line. Gives it a nice factory appeal, if you will. The factory gasket looked like crap, and I obviously showed how many chips are in there, so that was contributing to the box leaking. So yeah, door's almost done. I need to clean it a little bit more, fix up the bearing adjustment on the top rollers, and yeah, clean the stains, and then the door can go back on, and then we'll continue around the machine, and then eventually, like I said, I'll clean the inside. Eventually, hopefully end of Monday, this thing will be ready for real service. But till then, it's been a blast. Alright, boys, I don't remember what I said when I left the garage yesterday, but it's day like 5. Gasket looks nice and dry, so that's good. That's good. Good stuff. I think I left out off on that. I asked on Instagram, people's suggestions for cleaning said the yellow off the machine. I'd love to get the machine a consistent white, just give it that new look, that new car smell, if you will. Some people suggested magic eraser, and I think what's the material? Malolin or whatever is basically magic erasers are. But basically, through some of my research, yes, I did some research on magic erasers. The branded Mr. Clean one supposedly lasts a little bit longer and works a little bit better. And in reality, they're not that expensive. Yeah, it's a 10-pack. It's like $11. I mean, that is pretty expensive, but I don't know what to tell you. If it works, I'm more than happy. And then we're also going to try some coolant. So some coolant on the sponge supposedly will lift the other coolant off. So that'll be an interesting thing to try. So we're going to get working on that. I'm going to clean this panel up, basically. The door is going to go back on right there. And like I said, we'll just keep on moving down the side. So, actually, I just got in the mail. The light on the machine is behind this panel, door number 1, right here. As you can see, there's an incandescent bulb in there. And I clicked a button on the control, and it blew out. And I'm hoping that has literally nothing to do with anything except just timing. And it's incandescent. You know how they are. They don't like to be bumped around. So this thing was bumped around a little bit. So I'm just hoping the bulb blew out. So this panel needs to come off. It is also very dirty. So I'm going to take a razor blade and skim the coolant film that's off. And this is 100% going to need to be gasketed with the same gasket material, because the factory gasket on here is literally coming apart. Like, I'm squeezing in it and it's turning into like its base components. I don't know what the term is, but it's lost its rubberiness, if you will, and it looks like crap. So clean that up, put that new bulb in, and yeah, I'm gonna give that a shot. I'm gonna show you the bulb I got. I don't know what the socket in there is rated for, but this is what I went with. That's a big boy. So that's a 60-watt LED. Now, I don't know if I can run a 60-watt. I don't know if it's like the socket provides like a maximum rating, so you can toss whatever bulb in there, or if it's a 60-watt, it like will draw that much, and it's bad for the socket. So I'm not sure, but we're gonna see if it powers it. And luckily, there's a ton of room in there, so that'll fit just fine. And that'll be really cool. I'm wondering if it'll be so bright that I won't be able to see what I'm doing. That's one of them weird problems to have, but yeah, I'm gonna toss that in there, and yeah, I'm very curious to see if that'll work. But that'll be cool. That'll be a nice little upgrade instead of having to do overhead lights, which I was gonna do. And yeah, just keep on trucking. Alright, so here I am, magic eraser and a bucket of mostly coolant. It's like coolant and a little bit of distilled water. I guess you could probably use regular water. It wouldn't matter much. I think the coolant part is what matters. It seems to have worked quite well. Unfortunately, there are these embedded yellow stains that you can see them in like really bright light, but not necessarily looking over the machine from a glance. So I guess that's going to be good enough for this. I tried really hard to get them out, but I noticed these sponges, they kind of they don't take paint away, but if the surface is like this white paint is very strong, that's on the outside, but the blue paint on the bottom is not very strong. Like, I don't know if it's because the dyes to make the paint color are weaker, but like I would guess white maybe is like a stronger binding chemical or something. I don't really know how paint works, but I could pull the blue, like the sponge was starting to get blue from me cleaning up the bottom section. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're going to use these magic erasers. I will say on decals, the erasers will destroy decals. I've noticed, like any sort of a sticker, it'll just pull whatever color right out of the sticker. So obviously the paint's I guess a little bit stronger in that regard. So just kind of be careful of that stuff. And yeah, I wouldn't use it on anything that's like a keypad with a what do you call it? Like a decal basically, but it's not a decal. It's like centered on there almost. I don't know how to explain it, but it'll take whatever that is right off. You know, like a if you have a keypad that's plastic and then you have like a black letter, it'll just take the black letter almost immediately off if you put any pressure. So just keep that in mind. And then let's see what else I do here. Yeah, this took me hours. Like I'm talking, I spent hours upon hours cleaning both the front and just the machine in general. But yeah, I mean, I think it's worth it in the end to do a big cleaning. It really familiarizes yourself with the equipment, and I mean, it just looks good. I did ask on Instagram if anybody would like to send me their stickers, like company stickers or maybe stickers they make, and I'm going to put them on that white panel you see in front of us, just because there's nothing there to kind of break it up. And I think it'd be really cool to get kind of community stickers going. So I have a couple people who DM me on Instagram and are going to send me some stickers. But I think I need to set a P.O. box up because I've been giving people my home address. And it's probably not a great long-term strategy. Probably start getting some fan mail, if you will. Yeah, but I think it would be cool to do a stickers or something. Yeah. Let's see. Here I'm greasing up the tracks for the door. It was obviously littered with coolant and chips from it slinging coolant up above the door. You can run this machine with the door open, so you can imagine that would happen a couple times. Also, on top of near my left arm, there's a tray for some reason, and the drain was blocked, so there was a lot of loose chips and stuff. Oh yeah, here I'm struggling with the door. This door is actually really heavy, by the way, for a one person lift. So yeah, so basically I put it back on and I kind of messed with the adjustment, and the problem is the top bearings are it's a bolt and a nut, and you can't reach the nut to tighten the bolt that's the bearings right on. So I had a really hard time actually adjusting the tightness of them. So I ended up at some point in this clip, I think I picked the door back up off its rail, and that gives me enough room to adjust it. And eventually I get it nice and rolling, like free rolling. Grease the rails up and everything. Grease probably wash off after a while, but on the bottom rail anyways. And yeah, the door also needs a new gasket that surrounds the machining area from that white area. The gasket on there is broken and just kind of hanging there. So I cut what was frayed or broken, and I think I'm just gonna buy a black polyurethane sheet and then cut it into strips and make my own gasket there, because it doesn't need to be a watertight surface. It just needs to keep chips from getting back behind the door, which obviously there were many of them. Yeah, this is the part where I took the door off the tracks. Hell yeah! Alright, here I'm finally cleaning up near the control cabinet. And as you can see, that white panel on the left now is looking pretty spotless. You'll notice that the hand door under the control cabinet is very white compared to the yellowy stained rest of the machine. And that was because they had the door open all the time, and they also had the handle in the wrong way. So they had this tape in between the handle, like duct tape between the handle and the door, and like a piece of cardboard to open the door. And I was like, what is wrong with this thing? So I got it back at the shop. I put it back in the garage or whatever, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I kind of wish I had the handle here, because it looks ghetto, like with this cardboard as a handle. And they had the handle upside down, so the tabs weren't touching the sheet metal. So I took it out, flipped it around, and then we got the factory handle back. So I don't know what was going on, but that might be like kind of like the definition of this whole machine is like, we tried, but we couldn't come up with a solution after 35 seconds. You know what's really awesome about this machine is you can actually, there's a hinge on the panel that the control panel sits on, and you can see we have it open here. And it's actually incredibly easy. It's one bolt, and then it's got these hinges, and me and my dad were trying to move the hinge, so we picked it up with our pry bar and like gingerly move it over, not to drop it, because we obviously don't know how it works. And there's these set screws in the top of the hinge, and we're like, what the heck do these do? Like hold the hinge in or whatever? Well, apparently you crank the set screw down and it picks the door up along the hinge, and that's how you can do it by yourself. And the really cool thing is the control pan, like that entire cabinet has slack built into all the lines for both the sub spindle and the control cabinet, enough slack to swing the thing out completely away from the machine. But we were still learning basically how far it could go, so we only opened it a very little amount. But in the future, when I'm doing a repair, we had it open, like I had it open way more than this, so you'll see that in a future video. And speaking of future videos, I'm going to cut this one here. I'm trying not to make these incredibly long. I have a lot more content. There's a lot of work that I've been doing on this thing, so I figured it'd be a lot better just to break it up and kind of drip feed it than come out with like a 4-hour long video. So if you like this video, please subscribe, and I appreciate you watching. And see you on the next one.